Hello YouTube pipe smokers, the anarcho pipe smoker here for another Sunday ramble. Try not to take a lot of time. Lately I've been talking and blogging. By the way, my blog is hobbynothabit.blog. I've been blogging about what seems to be the rising Codger caucus, Codger movement, whatever you want to call it, among the pipe smoking community. And as I explained maybe last week, was it? This is not a chronological thing. Codgerdom is a state of mind. So you can be a young codger, and you can be a codger, an old codger. And we have some people in this whole spirit who are a lot younger than I am. I'm old enough to be their fathers. So there's no barrier. The qualification is that you appreciate a side of pipe smoking that sometimes gets overshadowed, maybe often gets overshadowed. That it's about the relaxation, the comforts, the security of a pipe and a tobacco that sort of qualify as old trusted friends. In a way, it's the flip side of, let's say, of pipe acquisition disorder and tobacco acquisition disorder. So check my previous videos and also the blog to hear more about that. I don't want to take up the time with that. I do want to recommend, though, to people in this state of mind, of a TV show. We could say that the Codger pipe smokers have a sitcom. Now, it's not in production now, but you can find it on Netflix, and it's called Still Game. I learned about this at first some years ago from Mutton Chop pipe smoker, whose YouTube channel I recommend that you check out. He mentioned it, and I immediately went out and searched and found it on Netflix, and it's still up there. I've been watching it lately again. I've seen it a few times, and I recommend it. I want to say a little more about it, and the reason it's of interest to us, I think, is that one of the characters is a pipe smoker. But let me tell you a little bit about it. I have substantial notes here. I did my homework. I did my research. Just quickly, my pipe is not lit at the moment because I don't smoke inside. I am smoking an Aldo Villani, and you'll notice it's a shankless Aldo Villani. I have two. I have one that's also smooth and much more orange, and the stem is more orange. There's no shank. The stem goes all the way to the bowl. And I bought this pipe several years ago from my local brick and mortar at the pipe and tobacco shop in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I need to be smoking it more often. I've sort of neglected it. I love the pipe. I love the shape. I love the look. I've had delightful success with Aldo Villanis. If you're looking for moderately priced pipes, not very much money, less expensive, say, than a Savinelli, which are great, Aldo Villani qualifies. And there are Italian pipes besides Aldo Villani that also qualify as won't set you back very much, but you'll get a good smoke and very nice looking pipes. So I like the rustication. I don't know which is the right word. And I like the stem, and it just smokes beautifully. So, but it is not lit. Anyway, let me tell you about Still Game. Still Game it was originally a stage play before it went to TV. It's a BBC show, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a BBC show, so it's a British show. I love British television. And it is set in a fictional part of Glasgow, Scotland. So it's a Scottish show, which means that sometimes I need to keep closed caption on because the accents can get so thick, I sometimes can't understand it. It's almost as if speaking another language. I'm getting better at it. Your ear will get more tuned into it. But they have phrases, apart from the accent, they actually have phrases that won't be familiar to certainly Americans. So you may want to keep closed caption on. So it's a show about friendship when you get right down to it. So they live in it's a section of Glasgow, but it really functions like an autonomous village. Going downtown Glasgow is like to them going, taking a long bus ride to some big city. I don't think it's that long a bus ride really, but it's like it's not something they would do every day. So the lead characters are Jack Jarvis and Victor McDade, and they're played by very funny guys by the name of Ford Kiernan, who plays Jack Jarvis, and Greg Hemphill, who plays Victor McDade. Now, who are they? They are widowed pensioners who are in their 70s. So they're living on their government pensions, I guess. They both lost their wives 10 years ago or more, and they're best friends. They live in the same apartment house on the same floor. Now, they don't share an apartment, but they live next door to each other. So they're constant companions, except once in a while when they have little spats and falling out, which don't last long, of course. Now, Jack is the subject of our interest here because he is the pipe smoker. Victor is not a pipe smoker. He's not the least bit bothered by Jack's pipe smoking. Jack will smoke in Victor's apartment, and there's no problem there. And the reason it's relevant to my interest these days in codgerism is that Jack qualifies as a codger. He has basically one pipe. I think late in the series he got another pipe, maybe from his daughter for a birthday present. But he's got one pipe, and it looks like it's either a straight apple or a straight billiard. It's really hard to tell. It's not like he holds it up. He doesn't do what we do here. He doesn't do housekeeping. And he smokes only one tobacco, which is drum. Now, I always thought that drum was a cigarette roll-your-own tobacco. I don't know if there's a version. I can't find it online, whether there's an actual drum tobacco which is made for pipes. I don't know. And he buys it at his local convenience store, which is sort of like a standalone 7-Eleven. That's where he gets his tobacco. That's it. Now, the episode that I want to talk about is, I believe it's in the fourth season, second season maybe, and the title is Snooglies. So if you look it up on Netflix, where it lets you look at all the episodes, look for the title Snooglies, Snooglies. I'm not even sure what that means. I don't remember it coming up in the episode, but maybe I just forgot. Anyway, here's the premise. It's the 60th anniversary of their friendship. They met roughly when they were 10 or so. And it's not important for me to tell you the events that led to their meeting. You'll learn about that when you watch it yourself. That's not relevant to my story. Anyway, they decided they're going to make a big deal of it. They're going to celebrate their 60th anniversary. They're going to go into Glasgow, and Jack is going to buy Victor's going to buy Jack a fancy lunch. They're going to go to a nice restaurant. They're going to have an upscale lunch. There's lots of funny stuff surrounding that, but it's not relevant, so I'm going to skip that. When this idea first comes up, when Victor proposes to Jack also says, well, that's great, because I can stop at the tobacconist there and maybe get something different for a change, because all he can buy in his convenience store are drum and something called Bruno, which I think does exist. He just calls it Bruno. And Victor says, oh, that's good, because I can get an after lunch cigars, and he likes to have a cigar once in a while. I don't know if we ever see him smoking, but he says, let's do that. Let's go to the tobacconist downtown Glasgow, and it's shot in Glasgow, so it's on location. So you see a sign, Graham Tobacconist and Cigar Merchant, 1874, which is the store they're going into. And that's a real place. There's Robert Graham is an online store now as well, and they also have whiskeys. They've come to specialize in whiskeys, but they have cigars and pipe tobacco and pipes. So it's a real place, founded by Sir Robert Graham in 1874. At one time in the 20s, it had 20 shops in Glasgow alone. Maybe only Glasgow, but 20 shops in Glasgow. But by the time it was the 90s, there was only one shop. Then in 2013, Graham it changed hands. Graham opened a shop in Cambridge, and today, as far as I can tell, I got this off the Graham site, so I guess it's true and up to date, it has 5 locations throughout the UK. And as I say, also an online shop, and they also really do seem to emphasize their whiskey selection. Anyway, So, quickly, the story. I don't want to go too far over time here. Victor and Jack enter Graham's, and they're greeted by the tobacconist, a friendly old man, maybe about their age, a little younger, maybe a little younger. He greets them graciously. You can see behind them that it's a beautiful shop with the hardwood and a cigar humidor and lots of nice stuff on the shelves. You see some pipes, and it's just a classic old-style tobacco shop. And he tells Jack, the tobacconist tells Jack, that the shop has 70 pipe tobacco brands from all over the world. Jack points out that in his local convenience store in Craiglang, that's the area they live in, all he can get is either Drum or Bruno. So the tobacconist says, if you want a wee try before you buy, feel free. Saying, have a sample before you decide what to buy. And Jack smiles impishly. The next thing we see is Jack and Victor being ejected from the shop in a huge cloud of smoke, with the tobacconist behind them saying, get out of here. Meanwhile, the tobacconist is waving his arms to try to clear this huge cloud of smoke that's pouring out of the shop. Outside the shop, once the tobacconist has gone back and closed the door, Jack says, in effect, I wonder what that guy's problem is. And Jack is the pipe smoker, of course. Victor says, quote, well, I'm no expert on tobacco shop etiquette, Jack, but maybe trying 17 different kinds before plumping for your regular brand isn't a done thing. And Jack looks at him and says, you want to stick to what you know. The bottom line here, that's a codger. I hope I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. Don't forget to visit the blog, hobby-not-habit.blog. Have a good week. And remember, live and let live. To each his own, and replace your divots.